We didn't win it. And we are right in the middle of the crazy season. This is the transfer window. It will shut down in September, so we got another whole month of this. If Gio Reyna comes back and plays in Major League Soccer, that's when I really worry about him, about all of it. All of it. Remember when that idea was like, let's bring Michael Bradley with Josie Altidore. Let's put him in Toronto, and they're going to win MLS Cup. Right? And they also brought Clint Dempsey back to play for Seattle. We didn't fucking qualify. You're not going to be competitive in a World Cup environment. End of story. That's not an opinion. That's factual. Nobody made the team. They started tearing ligaments and pulling muscles because they weren't ready to compete at the highest level. And that's what Major League Soccer represents. And Europe does not. We need our guys at the highest level possible come next year, not this year. Got it? Good. Okay, so the U.S. national team played in a Gold Cup, and we didn't win it. And we are right in the middle of the crazy season. This is the transfer window. It will shut down in September, so we got another whole month of this, a month and a quarter, actually, to figure out what effect our national team players and their performances had. We already saw Patrick Agyemang has made the move. It looks like he's going to make his way to Derby County, which was a good move for all intents and purposes. And Damian Downs also found a new address. I'm a little disappointed he didn't stay with Cologne, because I wanted to see what he looked like with the overall realities of what he could have done in the Bundesliga, not in the second division. But he will play in the championship. So there's some movement there. We're still waiting on Gio Reyna. A lot of talk about him coming to LAFC. But when we try to sit back and we evaluate what Mauricio Pochettino is doing, and I've read your comments, and a lot of you that have chimed in are really unhappy with this national team. You really don't think that we are where we should be. And there's some discontent from the coaching perspective, some of the timing of the substitutions, and the overall result. We lose to Mexico and 2-1, and it's over. We don't win the competition. Mexico gets to win it again. In the aftermath of all of this, I need to remind everybody that it really is a big fat so what. It is. Mauricio, this is what happens when you hire a coach from the outside. He's trying to learn a culture and trying to figure out what kind of players he has. Yes, we get it. Timothy Weah, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie did not participate in this competition, nor did Gio Reyna. He had Club World Cup commitments and didn't even play, so that kind of sucked. But all things to the positive, this is Mauricio Pochettino's opportunity to evaluate players. He's learned a lot through this process about guys like Max Arston, right? He basically, okay, there's some good and there's some bad. There's guys like Freeman who actually had a pretty good tournament, but does that mean he's going to be on the team? Probably not if the other guys are healthy. Tillman certainly had the kind of competition, and he's making a big move to Leverkusen. So that's a guy to focus on, but let's not get caught up in what's already happened, okay? And I want to remind everybody that in other World Cups, if you were 6 to 10 months out of the World Cup, we always thought we had an idea of what our team was going to look like, right? We always thought that this is going to be our guys. And by the time we got to the World Cup, it was nowhere near what she thought. So just calm the fuck down and just understand that this is a coach who's working right now, and he'll figure it out. If he doesn't figure it out, they'll fire him. And then you can be pissed off about that. Now, the next part of this, I mean, if we're talking about Diego Luna, who was, no pun intended, a star in this deal, or at least he was glowing like the moon. Luna, get it? Yeah, stupid. But he actually had a pretty good tournament. Celta Vigo might end up signing this guy. Is that a positive? Absolutely. The bigger concern, if you are a U.S. soccer fan, is where will these guys be come January, February? In what frame of mind will they be when we are 3-4 months away from a World Cup? Not now. Not now. Being able to find a club and be in a great environment is paramount. It is. And that's why I worry about Gio Reyna. I don't think coming back to LAFC and playing for Steve Cherundolo is going to help. I just don't. I mean, Steve Cherundolo is someone I've known for a long time. he's boring. He hates the media. He's not going to inspire anybody to do anything prior to a World Cup. Sorry, so if that hurts your feelings, but Steve's not the answer. He wouldn't be the answer as a national team coach either. And he's probably on his way back to Germany. So let's just stop thinking about that. But if Gio Reyna comes back and plays in Major League Soccer, that's when I really worry about him, about all of it. All of it. Ask yourself this question. Remember when that idea was like, let's bring Michael Bradley home with Josie Altidore, and let's put him in Toronto, and they're going to win MLS Cup. Right? And they also brought Clint Dempsey back to play for Seattle. They paid him $6 million a year because we can. And we're going to make a statement. That was 2014, 2015. The reason why I'm saying that is after 3 years in the league, what happened to our national team? We didn't fucking qualify. And you can't put it together? Michael Bradley, Dempsey, and Josie Altidore can't figure out a way to qualify against Trinidad? With Christian Pulisic trying to, pick up the scraps and make something happen at a young age? And Christian Pulisic is the one that scores? Yeah, this is what happens when you come back and you are preparing for a World Cup and you're playing in Major League Soccer. You get what you get. You're not going to be competitive in a World Cup environment. End of story. That's not an opinion. That's factual. So when we worry about our players, the worry should start not now. The worry should start in February. Let's hope that our guys are in the most competitive environments that they could possibly be in, that they're competing for something. They're competing for something. I'm so tired of that argument that, we're in the middle of our season. We should be ready. We're not at the end of our season. We're too tired to play in a World Cup. What? No, you have to be able to push yourself full tilt, right? And make it through that. In Europe, you have no option. You got to show up to work, and you are competing for something. It might be competing against relegation. You might have the ability to finish in the top 6, which means millions to your club. Every game matters. The responsibility is immense. You could take some days off if you're playing in Major League Soccer. That's the truth, and guys do. So when we get frustrated about the current team, right, and these guys that we don't think they're good enough for the national team, and we start comparing them to other things or other places and saying, well, this really just isn't good enough. Keep in mind, these guys are a product of the environment that they are currently in. And if we want to be competitive in a World Cup, the concern will be in January, February, March, April, May, not now. And those guys need to be pushing it full tilt and be ready to push it full tilt when it matters. Do the research on this. Think about how many guys have made the national team or playing in MLS that tried to go from sleep to sprint. It was the first time they got into camp and they got all excited about the fact they're going to play in a World Cup after spending 2 months playing in a league where they're trying not to get hurt and not pushing it, not going into those tackles because they had an option and they opted out. What happened to them? Nobody made the team. They started tearing ligaments and pulling muscles because they weren't ready to compete at the highest level. And that's what Major League Soccer represents. And Europe does not. Again, make your way to Europe. Diego Luna, I really hope you do. And I hope our guys start scoring. We hope we find a forward. But when we get to February, we'll revisit this conversation. And if I have to be upset about guys like Gio Reyna coming back and playing at LAFC, which their season will probably finish sometime late November, means he won't even play in a competitive game till March, which isn't anything different than what he's already experiencing in Dortmund, and that's your argument. But it certainly won't be a high level. We need our guys at the highest level possible come next year, not this year. Got it? Good.